don't segregate. Dressed in a suit, I can't relate. Minority Report, can't ignore. Being rich from poor and your credit score. My hand to please don't segregate. Dressed in a suit, I can't relate. Minority Report, can't ignore. Being rich from poor and your credit score. I keep it real and stay. Flipping keys, no wait. Eating good, I got a lot on my plate. But this is what I
That was like a remix, I think.
Double one, yeah.
It's a double one. We are on site today. Let them know a little bit about the spot we're at, man.
We're at Stir 22, owned by Mr. Charles Brewer, and he's our guest today. We're going to learn about his story and how this whole concept came about and how he's got such a great following here in town. And
I wish you could smell how it smells.
Oh
in
my
here.
God.
It smells really good.
I was kind of hoping he'd have some food ready for us, but
I know, right?
I guess not, man.
But yeah, also, man, I was starting to tell you a little bit about the song. I dropped the song probably less than a month ago. It's literally called my birthday song, like happy birthday song, feliz cumpleaños, whatever. And it made it to a big playlist on Spotify.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so probably like an hour
Congrats,
ago
man.
or hour and a half ago, I got a notification straight from Spotify. Hey, we picked your song, blah, blah. And I go on
Also,
there.
it's a Spotify pick.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I go on there, bro, and like Justin Bieber's on there, the new Peaches song, Tupac, like they have some. I'm like, actually, I would have jammed this.
You're
this
in good company.
in.
That's
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
man. Congrats.
So yeah, pretty exciting. But yeah, and make sure you guys follow us on Instagram, the Minority Report Podcast. Boom, I got it. Finally on Instagram, and then YouTube as well, the Minority Report, and then everywhere else podcasts are available. You'll find us on there too. We finally got our Instagram back too.
Yeah, got it back to normal.
All you hackers out there. Yeah, I don't think it was hacked, but it was
that dark side Russian
something
group.
did happen, but yeah, and so yeah, let's get this show on the road, man. You got your book ready?
I got book of the week. So this week I decided it's a book that it's been a while since I read it, but I remember when I read it, it was awesome, and when I applied what I learned, it was great. But it's The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod.
Nice.
You read it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have. Yeah. I have.
I mean, essentially, the beginning of the book, Hal talks about like this car accident that he was in,
Yeah.
and that it should have killed him, and it basically, he didn't. He lived through. I mean, he was supposed to be paralyzed at the minimum, and
Yep.
but he's, he recovered, and so he kind of got like a new lease on life, and he decided that he wanted to live his life with more purpose.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the details of how he came about these steps, but he essentially in the book he's preaching how consistency and habit and pattern really helps people become successful, and it doesn't matter what you're trying to get into, whatever your goals are. If you follow these steps,
Yeah.
I should say, in the morning, and you start your morning off right, it kind of sets the stage for the rest of your day. So I haven't read it in a while. I left myself some notes on what the steps are, but the first one is, the biggest thing is waking up early, because the whole concept that he's preaching is that if you wake up earlier, you're giving yourself more hours in the day. So you're almost like life hacking and giving yourself more time.
And you know what, Dan? I've been a morning person, right? Like, well, I should probably do better lately now that I'm full time, which I keep telling the wife, I'm like, oh, I'll get on it someday, like, because I used to wake up at 4 a.m. And do my morning routine. But what's crazy, bro, is there's, and again, I agree with that book. You know what I mean? I definitely do. I believe that. But there's a couple other people that I've read, and this is recently, actually, even bigger pockets too, where they're literally saying like, oh, waking up in the morning, you don't have to. And I think it's basically one thing that I read is from that argument was, if there's 15 things you should do to become successful, you don't have to do all 15 things. You could do the top 10 or, the top 7.
Whatever works for you.
So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there, because we're on the subject.
A lot of things have to be taken with a grain of salt too.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not going to be a one size fits all.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I said, I used to wake up at 4. Now I'm waking up like 7, 8, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but anyways, go ahead.
So yeah, so that's the first thing is you got to wake up early. And I think in his deal is like 5 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So you wake up 5 a.m. You have, and everyone says, drink a full glass of water right away. It kind of helps start your metabolism going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're also dehydrated from sleeping at night.
Mm-hmm.
So then the first actual step in the process is having about 10 minutes of either silence or meditation or prayer, whatever it is that you're into. I think for me, it was a little tough because if I'm just waking up, it's 5 a.m. and I start, I do meditation. And if I start that, like, I'll want to fall back to sleep. you would think that would happen, but actually you kind of don't. It's easier, I think, to get into a meditative state right out of sleep. But anyway, so that's the first one. The second part to that is affirmations. And so if you get the book, he kind of helps you write out an affirmation where you basically are talking out loud to yourself. You're speaking into existence, whatever it is that you're working towards. And then you, from there, and again, these are all just like 10 minutes each.
Yeah.
And then you do visualizations, which is where it's almost to me like a meditation type practice too, when you do visualization, because you're literally visualizing whatever it is, lifestyle change, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like for me, I think my visualization was just trying to visualize like not hating this morning routine, because I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
So I was visualizing waking up, enjoying it, doing my thing, working. I hate working out in the mornings. Like this is kind of visualizing.
So like literally the opposite.
Yeah,
of what
exactly.
the
Yeah, the exact opposite. But I was visualizing.
It's like
liking it. And so you go from there to exercise. And, it can be 10 minutes of push-ups, just squats, air squats, whatever you want to do, but just something to kind of get your blood going. For me, I think I did like 30 minutes of like stretching or something like that, because I can't really get moving like too hard in the morning. I'm old, man. Like everything starts to pop and stuff. So but I think I was doing like some stretching, and so that was really helpful for me. And then from there, you go into reading. And he suggests reading something that has something to do with like personal growth, but whatever you enjoy really at the end of the day. At that point, I was reading in the morning. I would do something that was personal growth related or business related. Yeah. And then at night, I would read something that was more like fiction based or something that's not necessarily so heavy in terms of like business and growth, that type of thing. It was just kind of just more casual reading for me. And then lastly, you spend a few minutes on journaling. And then the journaling can be anything from, kind of planning your day out. I think he suggests journaling about things you're grateful for, you're thankful for. So that was something that I did too. But
I read in a book too about that, and I can't remember what book it was, but basically this dude who's a billionaire, millionaire, whatever. But he had it made. He wouldn't get out of bed. When he woke up, he would think of all the stuff he was thankful for, and he wouldn't get out of bed until a teardrop rolled down his cheek. Like, can you imagine how powerful that is?
Wow, yeah, that'd be crazy. Like, you really get going with purpose that day.
That's like really, and you have to be thankful.
But and also like you said, like everyone, you can take these steps and alter them how they would work into your lifestyle, whatever fits you. Like I said, with the silence, he said silence for number one, but that could be meditation, that could be prayer, that could be literal silence.
It doesn't have to be in that order either.
Exactly, But when I did it, and this is the type of thing, it's a practice in consistency. You have to stay consistent with it to actually see the benefits to it, like anything else. And that's like my biggest struggle with a lot of things is consistency with them. So I did it for a few months, but I fell off of it. And actually, the book, I loaned it to a friend, and I never got it back. But I know, I learned, but I've also learned that like whenever I loan a book out, I'm helping them out, but I've also kind of accepted that I'm not going to get that book back anymore. And so I just got to buy myself the book again. And I was like I said, like if it's a gift, I just consider it a gift to them, and hopefully it helps them.
You're potentially changing somebody's life.
But The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. It's a short read. It's actually a quick read. But check it out. It's it can be life changing depending on where you're at in your life.
For sure. So, well, man, let's get the show on the road, man. I had a little accident. We'll see if someday we'll show it to you guys. It was actually pretty funny. On one ultra, not even. Well, half of it is gone now.
Yeah. So we got Charles coming in.
No, don't tell him. Let's bring him in. Come on, let's go.
Every time.
We got him in the building. Oh, we're in his building. I know. Sorry, bro.
Put some respect in my building, bro.
I got a little carried away there. I said, in the building. Man, bro. Well, first of all, bro, I want to say, the time we've been here, you've been hustling this whole time, bro.
Been moving.
I like it, bro. I like it,
man. We got to go get it, man.
Hey. I like it.
True entrepreneur never sit still, man.
Yeah.
I already know.
What? Go ahead and give him your name real quick.
You
didn't want to give it to the people.
It's all good. So my name is Charles Brewer. My government name is Trokan. That's the African name. Okay. Yeah, you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Trokan Charles Brewer is my official name. Owner of Stir 22 Lounge and Stir Fast African Caribbean Kitchen.
So what can you tell us about your family and kind of where you're from? I know you went to school. You went to college.
Yeah, no doubt. So I was originally born in West Africa, Liberia. I came when I was like 6, 7 years old. I was raised in Texas, and then I came up here to play ball at Concordia University. So I had a scholarship. went through the 4 years, graduated, had some kids, and in Lincoln, Nebraska, or Nebraska in general, once you have kids, you ain't going nowhere. You stuck here.
That's
straight stuck.
He's not wrong.
So
So that's what happened to me.
So yeah, exactly what happened. Yeah. So stayed here. Was going through jobs, didn't find a job that really was a good fit for me.
Mhm.
So finally, went back home in Texas in 2010. And my sister who was living in downtown Dallas, and Dallas is a big nightlife scene, big, huge. And she was taking me around. And that's when I got my inspiration, man, to open a cocktail lounge. It was originally supposed to be a cocktail lounge. But
like you visited one down there?
yeah, we visited. She took me around
Everywhere.
all over
Yeah,
the
yeah.
place.
So was
man.
it so much like the nightlife, or was it a specific restaurant that?
It was the nightlife
Or a bar.
and a little of both. So
Yeah.
there was this one bar called a Lion Bar that we went to. Well, I joined the whole scene of everything, and I'm a big brunch person, dude. I can eat brunch any time of day.
Same
You
here,
know,
bro.
yeah, man.
Same
I
here.
love brunch. So it was like 2-3 o'clock. We had a brunch, and they had bottomless mimosas. Anything that has bottomless at the end,
You want it?
it's a win, man. So we was just 2-3 hours, 4 hours later, we was just there, just having a good time. And on my way back, I was just talking to my wife about it. Like, man, that Lion Bar place was cool, man. We need something like that in Lincoln.
What were you doing at that time?
2010, I was working at the community college. I was
Okay.
assistant director of financial aid.
Oh, nice, which is a
You
pretty
know.
good job.
Yeah,
It was
good
pretty
stat.
decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but it's an 8 to 5.
Right, exactly.
You clock in, you clock out.
Dang.
So I was like, that Lion Bar, man, that was a good place. I like, they need something like that in Lincoln. This is 2010. We wasn't as developed. We didn't have the Royal Yard. The Haymarket wasn't popping like that.
Mhm.
Downtown wasn't. It was focus on college. And I like, they need something like that for adults.
So what was it about the Lion Lounge? You said Lion Bar?
Lime
Bar.
Yeah, LIME.
What was it about it that just like
Man, it was very eclectic, man. It was different. It was different, man.
like was it like the colors, the theme?
Yeah, the colors, the theme, the loud colors, it bring a pop, and it just make you feel comfortable, man. I mean, we was there for 3-4 hours. I'm very I like moving and shaking, as you can see.
Yeah.
So I don't like being in one place like 3-4 hours, but we was just chopping it up, and it was crazy, man. I had a good time, and it just stuck in my head.
So how long did it take you for you to get your idea popping back home then?
Oh man, so like I said, it was gonna be being that was kind of a cocktail lounge. That's what the focus I wanted to be. So that was the focus. So I wrote a business plan. It was like 20 pages, and it was writing my ideas down. It wasn't like a business plan. It was just me just writing everything, pen to paper. This is what I'm thinking this bar is gonna be.
See, and real quick on that, like a lot of people, I've had people asking me, oh, I have this business plan, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you just literally described it. Like, just do what it do. Like, don't overthink it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be like nobody's grading it. You're not taking it to a teacher. You know what I mean? Like,
no. And it was supposed to
elaborate on that.
It was supposed to be like 1 or 2 pages. Before you know it, like 4 or 5 months
Mhm.
later, I'm still writing because I had so much idea that
Mhm.
what I wanted it from the color theme
Mhm.
to everything. And 4 or 5 months later, I'm still writing. So finally, when I got done with it, I'm like, what the hell? Like, who gonna read
Wrote a
this?
book.
I'm like, nobody gonna read this. So I actually went to a consultant for him to just kind of fine tune and make it more of a,
Mhm.
you
Put
know,
it
thing.
together.
Because I knew the industry, but I didn't know it like that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I need help, and it's always good to ask for help.
Oh, yeah.
So I reached out to him like, hey man, can you do this consult? Can you do this? Rewrite this and all that. And he was writing it, looking at his bio. He was looking at my bio, so I was from West Africa, and so I didn't have any food because it was supposed to be a cocktail lounge. And he was like, hey bro, man, I see that you don't have any food. Like, do some food, man. And you from West Africa? Do some African food because they don't have nothing like that in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I'm like, man, I ain't doing no damn African food, man. What it look like? I'm like, we in Lincoln, Nebraska. He's like, you need to, man. It's gonna be cool.
So at that time, like, did you like cooking?
No.
It's
To this
crazy.
day, and nobody know that. I don't know.
Now,
But
now they know.
I hate cooking.
You hate
I hate it.
That is
so-
crazy.
You can ask my wife; she would say,
So if you don't cook in your personal life so much because you hate it,
Yeah.
How did you come up with these recipes? And
"That's why you have a mom for a reason, bro."
oh,
So at that point in time, when he motivated me to open adding food on it, and I did. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how to cook a lick of African food, so I reached out to my mom, and she's like, okay, cool, but we're not gonna make it a normal traditional African way. Where I'm from, West Africa, is a big pot with a lot of different meats and a lot of different seasoning, and you just let it build up to something. and you actually have to let it. The more it sits, the more flavor is
Right,
gaining. You know, you should
Oh,
know.
man.
You guys know. Y'all eat the same food we eat. Y'all know.
For real.
We can relate.
We were just comparing one we'll probably get to here in a few, but the foxtail.
Foxtail.
Oxtail.
Oh,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't know
Foxtail.
foxtail.
Jeez.
I know you're eating El Salvador.
I'll put down a grill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it's true because like you know, with in the Hispanic food, like we have caldo de res, so it's just like
What?
caldo de res.
See, man, it's that tongue. I can't do
Caldo de
that.
res.
I can't do that, man.
No, but like it's oxtail,
Yeah.
but it's not like the way you make it, like because you I don't know how
Yeah,
long
we
you
got
cook
the
yours,
big bone 4
but, like,
hours,
yeah,
bro.
it just cooks right off, and so when you get it, which the first time I ordered it here, I was like, man, like the thing with
You had to
oxtail,
fight that damn bone.
No, it's you have to fight that bone every time. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
do that. But then I got this plate of like, oh man, like this is just straight up meat. Like there's no bone in it. You know, there's a couple of little pieces, but
And there's a story to that too, also. So when my mom said that, so she taught me hard ingredients and stuff like that. And I started, this was a 4-year process of learning her stuff. You know, we Skype, I would travel there, just going back and forth, learn the whole her menu.
So you're telling me you weren't just born like this? Like it didn't just happen
Now
overnight?
I am a
like
mama's
people
boy.
think, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no. No.
so
I
you worked
love
on,
it,
on the
like-
menu alone was 4 years.
Exactly.
4 years, just
Wow.
the food part, and that's not even half of it. But yeah, just the food part, because I didn't know the food, and I didn't want to like traditional African, because traditional African, you know, is a lot of different meats, and we just eat whatever,
Mhm.
you know. And y'all know this, y'all do the same thing.
Mhm.
But in the States, you know, people are really
Exactly.
picky eaters.
Yeah.
They don't like fish touching pork, you know. They don't like this touching this.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I had to modify it. But the original concept, I'm one of the most controversial person, at least I think I am, in the world. So what I wanted to do, African and Caribbean food are known for having a lot of bones and fighting the food and stuff like that. I like, you know what? I'm gonna flip it up. I'm gonna do everything boneless. So when you first was eating here, the oxtail was boneless. Everything was boneless. I used to pick the meat off the bone.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. This is like 30, 40 pounds of picking meat. But you know, the customers kind of changed that. So I had to add bone in.
So
Did they
Yeah,
want
man.
it?
If you literally come, everything was first on the menu. If you literally come for the first 4 to 6 months, I want to say, everything was boneless. And then people started coming, and the people who eat oxtails, like, man, you better put that bone back on there.
I mean, the thing is, like, for me, I always, I love to cook. Actually, I was opposite to you, but
Right.
when my daughter ever like watches me cook, sometimes like I try to get her in there with me in the kitchen.
Right.
But I always tell her, like, you know, if you have the opportunity to cook something with the bone, cook it with the bone, because it's
Flavor.
gonna add flavor to
Flavor.
it. You don't necessarily eat it
And
or
it-
serve it with the bone, but
Yeah. And it was a difference. It was cool though, because, you know, in the States, you know, the States people don't like fighting food, you know,
yeah.
so the simpler and easier it is, the
Yeah.
better. So it was cool concept for people. But then I have, you know, some African from New York come.
Yeah.
And he
Just straight
and
judging.
he want that oxtail. Man, what is this? I'm not touching
Did
this.
you not kill it on the back? I ain't
Yeah,
having
yeah.
this.
What? let me go. You know what I'm saying? And then that right there, I'm like, okay, let me go a little more traditional. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started doing more. I still do a little bit of boneless,
Mhm.
as you can see. Like my jerk chicken
Right.
doesn't have the leg quarters of boneless, you know. But I kind of the oxtail and the goat. I'm like, yeah, you might need to put the bone in that. You know what I'm
Nice,
saying?
nice. No,
So,
I love it, man. Like I said, I love how just consistency. You know what I mean?
That's
like
what it's all about,
one thing
man.
led to another. Another thing, you used your resources. I mean, your
Absolutely.
mom, you know, the lawyer, like
Yeah.
just using
Yeah,
resources.
yeah.
If you
'Cause
could
if-
elaborate on that.
not even like your customers are a resource.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, you're
Yeah.
listening. You know,
Exactly. You know, because if it truly wasn't for that consultant, there would have never been food in the industry establishment. It would have been straight cocktail lounge.
Wow.
And food is 70% of my sales.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Nice.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's awesome. That means a
So
lot,
yeah, you
actually.
gotta definitely take advantage of your resources. It's okay to ask for help. You know, and that's one thing I'm learning as I grow too, ask for help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very prideful. I'm like,
Yeah.
I would listen, I would do this bar and cook myself.
Yeah.
Answer, take care of
Yeah.
to customers. You leave it up to me.
Yeah.
But you know, you're all human.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the reality I'm trying to understand. Like, I can't do everything myself.
So
Mhm.
those 4 years that you were working on that menu with your mom,
Yeah.
were you working as the
Yeah, I
at
was
the college?
still, yeah. So this is so I'm still at the college full time, 8 to 5. And then when I get off, I just go in the kitchen and start cooking. Mom's like, no, you need to do this, take this out, add this, do.
So while you were working on at your day job, like were you just hating every minute of it because you just
No,
you knew you had
man.
something to-
Surprisingly enough, my day job was cool, man. You know, the thing about corporate world, if you got people underneath you, you don't really do much. And I'm kind of telling the secrets over here, but people gonna be mad at me. But that's what I mean, I'm drinking, so
it's called delegating. Though.
Exactly.
Like,
That's exactly. That's the professional way of saying it.
Yeah.
So I had people doing my work, so I was doing that process. I'm actually researching, talking to mom, saying, okay, what I need to add. Still working a little bit, but still also doing my entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So 4 years I did that. I learned it. The cool thing about that is it was supposed to be just straight African. I didn't feel comfortable in doing African food because nobody truly knows what African food is in this
area.
Yeah.
Probably part of the country even.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, African cocktail lounge does not ring a bell to me. I would not go in there. So
what kind of drinks did you have in mind?
Oh, it was gonna be all flavored drinks, man. It was gonna be like it was gonna be more of a whiskey bar, so the old fashions and stuff like that.
Right.
It was but with a twist to it.
Right.
It's for grown folks. So going back to the thing, so I didn't feel comfortable just doing an African food because nobody knew what they know goat. And goat sometimes can have a bad name to it. If you don't know how to cook it, of course it will. You know what I'm saying? I know how to cook it.
Do you have goat on the menu?
Huh?
Do you have goat?
I have goat on the menu.
Yeah,
I didn't have it when you came.
You have me on the menu, bro?
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Edit that out, man. We don't want to edit that.
We don't need that.
But I just didn't feel comfortable with just the African food because people just didn't know. But the surprising thing is in Caribbean, Jamaica and Trinidad, Tobago, and a variety of different other countries are there. They use the same spices as what we use. Y'all use the same spices as what we use too, also. And I'm like, man, let me put some Caribbean African in there. So doing that 3-4 year process, I reach out to some Jamaican friends, and Jamaican. African are prideful. Jamaican are the most prideful people in the world. They didn't want to give me nothing. Nothing.
It's all a secret.
Man, they're like, no, you're not making our food. But talking to some people who was really cool with me, they taught me the basic way. And then I'm like, well, I'm not Jamaican, so I'm never gonna make it your way. I threw my spin in. So if you come here, that's one of the reasons why it says Caribbean. It doesn't say Jamaican, because it is truly Caribbean. It's a mix of everybody. Right. Different spices. It's not just one, and that's why I try to teach people when they come in. It might be a little different. It might not be the normal traditional way, but the flavor is there. I promise you there. You know what I'm saying? So that was doing that 3-4 year process. I was also learning Caribbean food, making certain way. Caribbean food is fun because the difference between Caribbean food and African food, especially where I'm from, big pot, most of everything is a stew.
Yeah.
With Caribbean or Jamaican food is a grill. So everything is kind of like on a grill. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to just stew 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. You gotta let it cook. They're just smoking or something like that on the grill. And they have food that you cook, but they're specializing on a grill. So that was a learning curve right there. Because then I had to okay, hold on, I gotta get a grill now and stuff like that. And it was really cool. It was really cool knowing the difference, but the spices still didn't change.
So after hustling, grinding, getting it all ready,
yeah, man.
When did you officially?
I wasn't done yet, bro.
Oh,
another 3-4 years.
Oh,
I didn't know the industry. I was
gonna ask, do you have any experience?
I was 8 to 5.
So you truly did your 10,000 hours, like they say.
Man, I think I did way more than that.
He's added 20,000.
Man, you know what I'm saying? So to learn the industry, I took side jobs while still working at my full-time job. I was a bartender for about 2 years. I was a cook at Granite City.
Damn, dude,
I love it.
You didn't know that, did you? That's crazy. We hang out.
I've known him for years. I know.
Well, and you know what, bro? That's awesome that you're literally out there getting the experience. You know what I mean?
Man.
And patience. That's another thing I love about your story. Patience. That's literally
and that's
what
crazy.
it takes.
I'm not a patient person.
Yeah.
So, but in order to learn,
and you learn,
In order to learn, you have to be patient.
Yeah. And once you start seeing results, I think it like you start seeing how patience really works. You know what I mean? And then you start kind of following patience at that point.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I started getting in the industry, as the years went, I started understanding it more from how the thing worked in regards to liquor margins, the food margins, and everything. Everything just started making sense more, as opposed to me just writing it down and not knowing didn't make no sense. So when I got into it and started feeling it and getting involved, man, it just made so much sense. I'm like, wow, okay. I see, okay, now I see how the margins, liquor 4 or 5 times the original price and just break it down. Oh man, you mean to tell me about a Crown I can get like $120, $150 and I only bought it for $35?
Yeah.
What? Oh man, I just got people drink Crown every day. We're good. You know what I'm saying? So it was just mind blowing. The tricks and trades and just the knowledge that comes with it, man. So, and that's one thing I'll tell anybody, man. If you wanna do this entrepreneur thing, man, you gotta learn it. You gotta learn it. I truly, for 7 years, bro, learned it from 2011, 12, roughly, to 2017.
You know what's crazy about that is I think most people, when they think of restaurant owners, they kind of just think like, oh, that person just likes to cook at home, and so they so they became a cook, or they opened a restaurant. And I've always, and even in the corporate life, like it always frustrates me when people assume that because you're good at a task, that you're going to be good at running a business or managing people that do that task. So like, me working in IT during the day, I've run into situations where, we have techs or whatever that are really good at the technical work. Yeah. And so they're so good at that they get promoted to management positions. Then they become a manager or a leader, I guess, in that sense. Yeah. And they just completely fall apart because it's a completely different thing. I truly believe you can take a leader, a person that's really good at leadership, and put them in any industry. For sure. And they're going to do well.
Actually, even with me, bro, real quick, like when I used to have a job, like my first job was Burger King, I want to say. Yeah. And I became like some kind of leader, and I was a teen, you know what I mean? Then my next job was like Taco Bell. And I became a trainer at Taco Bell.
How many times have you run into situations, though, where you're working somewhere and someone's good at that task and then they get promoted and now they're just garbage? Yeah. That's the thing. It's just like, I think people assume that with restaurants, and you're showing like, dude, that's not, you did so much work.
So much work. But the one thing I also want to say though, too, and I don't want to, discredit education. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Even though the experience was there, if I didn't understand, or if I didn't go to school for 4 years, I didn't obtain my master's at that same point in time while I was looking into doing it. Yeah, man. I was going to get it. Yeah. That education also helped me out a lot because then I could break it down.
What was it, like business, or what did you go back with?
Business, man. I got my master's degree at Doane at business management, and I got a bachelor's degree at Concordia, which is business administration. So that business part of me helped.
Yeah. So so when you were writing your business plan, you knew what you were
doing. I knew what I was doing. I mean, I started with executive summary and went down. Okay. I knew exactly, but it was just executive summary, 20 pages. Executive summary. I'm like, this is not working.
Did you know?
like a paragraph.
At that point, did you know how long it was gonna take? Like, did you have an idea it was gonna be, 4 plus 3 years?
It all just, the process just all just.
But you knew, man. But you believed it. Like,
I believed it. I didn't know when I was gonna open. Yeah. And the crazy thing is, how this came about. So there's a guy that used to own Henry's on the South. After that, it changed to Rock Island Social Club. The same guy owned it. I used to love this vibe of Rock Island Social Club, so I used to come and just tit for tat for him, talk, shoot the breeze and all that. And then we're just talking, man. And I told him I started cooking, man. I told him, hey, I'm cooking African Caribbean food, and I'm doing a little bit of catering here. He's like, man, you should come and do a pop up over here, man. All right, cool, because he had the kitchen, but he was just a wine bar. And that's why I liked it so much, because like I said, I'm trying to do a cocktail bar.
That's right, you did start out as a pop-up.
I'm trying to do a cocktail bar. So this is like, this is cool. So you
get the experience,
So he's like, man, just go in the kitchen and let's do a pop-up. Do a pop-up. I'll do some drinks. You do your food. And we'll try to make sense of it. I'm like, all right, cool. This is October 2016. I did a pop-up. Text a couple of friends, and I know a few people. It's a few. Text a couple of friends. Y'all come through. I'm doing African Caribbean food. Small menu. I'm at Rock Island Social Club on Winthrop Road. Come through. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be for, I think, from 7 to 10. We was out of food by 9 o'clock. Yeah. So, I like that. I like that. Sold out in 2 hours later. Likes it. Well, after a while, I reckon this thing on.
He said, episode 5, bro.
Yeah, bro. That's enough, bro.
Episode?
That's enough. Stop it. No, so, but yeah, man. I mean, we sold out. And this dude was like, because the place was so packed. It was crazy. And he was like, we need to do this again. Because you should have seen the money he made.
Oh, but because he made money off of your stuff.
He made money. You should just sweat. I never seen like people sweat like the way I sweat. He was sweating. But he was counting that money. And he's like, let's do it again. So we did it again in December. Sent a few. I didn't have Facebook at that time. Mm-hmm. I sent a few texts. Hey, man, come through. Posted your face. 2 hours later, sold out. And I honestly forgot to mention, people don't like to talk about money, I like to talk about it so people can have an idea of what they're looking forward to.
Well, and you know what, bro? Money should be talked about on the dinner table with your kids.
Man,
you know what I mean?
That's it, man.
Can I get a pepper?
That's your last one.
This is your last one.
One more time.
And you know, and I read that on a couple books actually, where most people look at that like it's a negative thing to talk about money you know, while you're eating dinner, but it's like no. And like I said, I do that with my kids, and I think you have to.
Like, because when you say that, I have done the same thing too. But I realized that when I like try to talk to my daughter about like, hey, I just flipped this house, and this is what I paid for it. This is how much I put into it. This is how much we're gonna make on it. Like she doesn't understand the concept of money yet. She's only 13. Yeah. But I do know that she's listening.
She's listening.
She's still listening.
Say, so I'm still
taking it in somehow. Because in the back of her head, when something comes up, oh yeah, my dad said this.
Especially that age, bro.
Yeah, and if she decides to get her first job at some point, and she, you know, dude, I remember when I got my very first paycheck. I was 16. I was working at this telemarketing place downtown.
Yeah.
And dude, I thought you got paid for your lunch break. I didn't know taxes was a thing. I didn't know Medicare. I didn't know Social Security.
You got that check. You was a man.
I was mad.
See, bro, and those are the stuff that, you know, if you had somebody teaching you those things. Because it's the same here, bro. Like I had to look. I helped my mom fix her credit. You know what I mean? When it should have been the other way around.
But
so I mean, it should be a conversation. So
not
go ahead,
just
bro.
that.
Talk your game, bro.
Even with friends, like we need to be talking about money.
Right.
You know, I mean, some people like shy because, oh man, I made this amount of money. So some people are gonna think is, man, if that's a friend. You know, they're like, I get that, man. Because next week, so next week you're going to double that, right? You know what I'm saying? It's okay to talk about money. Me, we were just talking about money the other day. How much it costs to flip that house and all that? How much I make weekly and stuff like that. You need to talk about money. So when I open up that 2 hours, I made $1,500. You know what I'm saying? I only spent $500 in food costs.
Yeah.
So how did you feel after 7 years of work of just like studying the business, studying the menu, studying everything, and then you do this pop-up and in 2 hours you make $1,500. Like describe how that felt.
Man, you know what? I didn't believe it. I think I'm a pretty popular person in Lincoln, Nebraska. At least that's what I think.
We'll see. We'll see how many views.
We'll see. Yeah, based on the view. Now, Liza's over me. She's a rock star.
You're gonna be sharing this.
I gotta have to beat Liza. Liza be on that social media. She be on it. So salute to Liza.
Yeah,
you know, but you know, I'm like, I know people. So those are the people that come regular. And Lincoln, Nebraska. If you open a bar restaurant, your regulars is how you make your money. Just so you know. So I feel like they came. So I didn't believe it. That's why I did it a second time. Actually, and I did it a third time in January 2017. That's like the coldest in the city of Lincoln, Nebraska. And they still came, still sold out, made about $1,500 to $2,000. So, you know, made a cost was about $600-700. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't believe it until the third time. I'm like, okay, I think I got something here.
You're onto something.
I think I'm on something. And the cool thing is, man, it just
and you know what's crazy about your story, bro? This was before social media.
Yeah,
this was like,
it was happening, but it wasn't big.
It
wasn't big.
Yeah, like you said, you didn't even hit up social media.
I didn't know social media.
That's crazy.
No, I'm still old school texting.
I do remember getting your text though.
Yeah, like, hey, bro, come through, man.
Yeah.
No, I was excited too. I was excited because Lincoln's better now, way better now than it was.
The food is really enhanced.
The food's growing.
Yeah, it's still a process, but it's getting there.
Yeah,
man.
It is.
It's getting there, truly.
When I first moved here, man, it was like meat and potatoes and then Mexican. That was like all you could find.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, then I remember when sushi came, people were just losing it. I'm like, you know how old that fish is? Like, I'm some kind of weird
secret. But it was crazy. But the cool thing is about that is why I was doing a pop-up, you know, I also, at that point in time, was in a lot of different groups, a lot of social groups or whatever the case is. So I was a part of the Boys and Girls Club executive body. One of the person that was there was the VP of Small Business at Union Bank. And she came to my pop-up, Katie Thompson. Salute her, by the way.
She gets one.
That was like, don't do that, bro. That was like,
that's
did you see that?
Don't do that.
I do modest.
He said modest.
And then it didn't sound right. It didn't sound right.
Bro, he said,
yeah, man, you gotta put some you gotta be enthused.
I was just telling him last week, he did the saddest one I've ever heard. I had to take it out.
He was tired.
I had to take it out.
Yeah, bro, thanks, bro. All right, we'll stop there.
Yeah, so she came and she loved the food. It's like, Charles, you got something. Thank you. You know, what are you trying to do? You trying to get investors? I'm like, yeah, I really was trying to get investors. That's one of the reasons why I wrote the business plan. She's like, well, I don't know any investors, but I can give you a small business loan if you want. You got a business plan? Well, here you go.
Man,
Business plan
so-
already
so
ready to
a few
go.
years later,
It
you
didn't
were
take
ready.
long.
You
Yeah,
were ready.
man.
That's the thing.
I
He
had
was
money
ready.
before I opened the space. I had the money already before I could even find a space.
Man.
So I had money. This check of it wasn't much because I didn't ask for much, like $150,000. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what am I gonna do with this money?
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? That Lexus is
I'm
looking
about to
good
say,
right
like-
over there. I'm going to get no. I'm kidding.
For real. That,
Katie, that was not the case. You know, no, but I came back and I'm looking in the Haymarket because that's where I wanted to be at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the radar. Yeah, my money wasn't long enough. So
Yeah.
know your limitations.
yeah.
You know, don't go above
But, I
and
mean, you
beyond.
did your homework.
You know, exactly. I already knew what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
Like
Can't-
know your numbers, you know, and
You know what I'm saying?
and it's with like flips, like with real. I mean, I
Yeah.
think every business that you get into, know your
You
numbers
have to know your numbers. You absolutely do. And
limits.
as much as I wanted to be in the rail yard because that scene would
Yeah.
have been crazy, I wouldn't have made it.
Exactly.
I wanted a small
There's
business.
a lot of businesses that have failed out there because
Exactly.
it's so expensive.
I
The real
wouldn't have
estate
made it.
is
I wouldn't have made it. It just wasn't realistic for me. It wasn't realistic. So came back and started talking. Hey man, I got this money, and I'm trying to open a space. He's like, oh yeah, you got this money. Well, Charles, I am thinking about leaving. You know, I'm a little tired. Thinking about getting out the game.
Was he like an older guy? Or?
Yeah, older guy. You know, he's been doing it for a while. He's like, I was like, okay, well, I kind of like. I've been liking the space. I always come here and chill and talk to you. You know, we talked about a little money exchange, and boom, bought him out. Took over in July 2017. Yeah, man. So you know, we talked about it, and then I bought him out, man. And that's where Stir 22 came.
How'd you get the what's the name? I was
Well,
gonna ask.
we couldn't find a name. Me and the wife, we went back and forth for I don't know a year actually trying to find a name.
a year
Dude,
on a name.
man.
Yeah, it was that tense. It's tense, man. It's tense.
I love it, bro.
And we're like, what is his name? We thought of several different. I can't remember what they were. But we thought of several different. I don't know where Stir. Honestly, I don't know where Stir came. But what I remember her saying, she's like, every bar restaurant has a number by it.
Okay.
You know, so I'm telling all my secrets.
Well,
I
but
feel
she's
comfortable
a-
doing
she's-
this. I'm telling all my secrets, but she said every bar restaurant has a number by it. So a lot of people don't know this, and you must be a close friend of mine because I'm telling my secrets. on it. So a lot of people don't know this, but 22, I tell them, and it's true. It is true. It's a true story. Is because when I was younger, when you cook African food, big pot, you constantly got to stir.
Uh-huh.
You know that. You guys know that. You know, you constantly, and the more you stir, the more flavor is building up, and it's quick, and it's cooking quicker. So in a circular motion, I used to count how many to make because my mom had me do it. You know, she wasn't gonna let me stir. She wasn't gonna stir for 2 hours or an hour
Yeah.
or whatever. So she had me do it. So to make the time go fast, I was counting in circular motion until she told me to stop. The average number was 22 times. So that's how 22.
That's
but
awesome.
also,
22.
a lot of people don't know
got
this.
it.
22 is also my wife's favorite number.
Oh,
You know?
nice.
So that's where it's a little of both. You
Yeah.
know? So if somebody comes and stir 22 and asks, you know, it's gonna be the stirring story. But also, if a lot of people are gonna see this now, it's also my wife's favorite number. So that's one of the reasons why I got it.
That's awesome, man.
That's cool.
And
Yeah,
then U represents my mom because most of it is my mom ingredients. And she had a thick accent. So when she said, come and
Has
stir
she
the
ever
pot,
worked here?
she tried to work her.
Yeah.
No, not worked, but she came and visited.
Help
you know,
out,
in
like
Texas.
yeah.
And no.
No.
I'm like, Mom, you know, you can't do this.
Yeah.
Coming behind a bar trying to pour drinks. What are you doing? Stop it. telling my employees they're not making it right. No, Mom, that's not it.
That'd be my mom too.
You
Though.
gotta go
Like,
back to You got to go back to Texas. You're not supposed to be here.
That's awesome, man.
But it was cool though. She was just trying to help, and it was cool, man. And she,
Yeah.
you know, every day she talked to me. She said how proud am I, and that's kind
That's
of like
awesome.
makes
Good.
me want to just like, man, I could take over the world now,
Right.
you know. And same thing goes for my wife too. I mean, she's a CPA, so she does the numbers part for me, and
Nice.
and she's very supportive, man. So it's always good to have a supportive staff.
Yeah.
always.
So you have a second location?
Yeah, man, I do.
Wait, how long did that? That
Yeah.
didn't take long to open, right? From the
No, it didn't take long. It's only been open for 6 months. We signed a lease on June or July of 2020. We opened in August, and it was really cool. The place is moving ready. You know, it's where the old Woody's is. On the left side, not the long bar side, the other side, and pretty much that concept came because, man, fast casual is the end thing. You know, I'm one of those guys, man. I try like spend any way I can.
Yeah.
But I want to spend in Caribbean African, you know. So I'm like, well, I got this restaurant lounge, which is doing awesome. It's doing really good. And, we're making money. We're paying ourselves a little bit. Not a lot. We're paying ourselves a little bit, but my employees are getting paid. All my taxes are being paid. Pay your taxes. Pay your
That's what we
taxes.
talked about that
People.
first
100.
episode. Yeah.
Pay your taxes. So all that's getting paid. I'm like, you know what? I got some extra change. Let me look into doing this fast casual. Fast casual is an in thing, less labor, quicker, easier, faster. Let's do this.
Smaller menu, right?
Smaller menu. I don't have to whatever with the kitchen. And so I created this Caribbean African Chipotle style fast casual called Stir Fast. And it's hella cool, bro. It's awesome. I'm like, sometimes like I go in there, I'm like, it has so much potential, but it's still new. And it's and it's in downtown. Downtown right now is not doing the best. It's getting there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's getting, I think by August, we'll be ready to go get those numbers.
How was the pandemic for you then?
The pandemic over here, man.
You killed it.
Yeah, man.
Man, listen, it was crazy. And I salute once again Lincoln.
There you go. Got you.
You gotta throw that in there, bro. I salute Lincoln.
Thanks, bro. Somebody likes it.
Yeah, Lincoln came and took care of me, bro. They came and took care of this restaurant. They took care of my employees. We never fired anybody. We always had a short staff.
Yeah.
I'm one of those believer, which can be good or bad. Less is more.
Yeah,
the less we have, the more we all can win.
I'm like that too, bro. I
but
think
then
any business
it comes back on you sometimes too.
Yeah,
because if that one person is gone, then it affects everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where. Oh, sorry. That's where it kind of is a tough. But I've always been a true person. Less is more. I try to work with the lesser staff I can. If I find some talent, cool, I'm rolling with them.
And I think that's how you build this, bro. That's how you build is start slow, small. Literally, like, especially like our stories like that, like your story, man. It's like literally coming from nothing, like, and patience, like that, consistency, no doubt. Like it's like the perfect mix of,
and that's
just
that
building something, man.
When, as we were taking a little break, he kind of brought up how, maybe you could speak a little more to how you saw a need in Lincoln for this type of food, something different,
right?
But also you powered through hating cooking. Like you still don't like to cook.
And I'll say it, bro. What I was saying was normally it's like whatever passion you have, right? Boom, then that's what makes you money. Like it sounded like food, like cooking wasn't your passion.
So what was the passion part of this?
I need, man. There truly was a need for diversity in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is 2010, granted.
And going back to your story in Dallas, like you saw that right away when you were back there, and that's where it all.
Yeah, I mean, you got restaurants that people like. Sometimes I go there, it's a 3-4 hour wait, and I'm like, what? I'm like 3-4. I'm like, I can do that.
But and you know what too? What it makes me think, because originally you were gonna do a cocktail bar, so
yes, man.
I mean, you literally just. You know what? I'm going to do that too. So, I mean, it's really just a growth. You know what I mean? Like
that's growth, but I really, truly study it. So when you study it, you come with different avenues. And that's one of the reasons the fast casual came. Because I studied the market. I studied my food.
Exactly.
I knew what the Caribbean was. I knew what the African was. And I studied it. So I can always go this avenue, go over here, go over here. So that's was one of the reasons why Stir Fast came. Because I knew there was a need for Caribbean African food on a more fast casual style. Create your own, build your own bowl. You start with your base, start with the protein, and I did that. You know what I'm saying? So that's also doing your research brings out other avenues you can go, and that's just the way it happens, man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Another thing is when I used to come in here, because we truly used to separate the food. We have the protein, the base, which is a rice or green or whatever, and then a side. And wanted to get the plate, everybody just push it together. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna create a bowl and just push everything together. And that's where fast casual.
And that's the thing too, because a lot of your menu is like you said, a lot of stews and stuff. So you want that juice in the green or the rice.
You want that flavor. Yeah. So it's totally different. It's cool though. It's really cool. It's a totally different concept. Everything is boneless over there. And that's one of the reasons why I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get back to my boneless days.
Yeah.
I don't care what my customer says. I'm going boneless.
All my customers are wrong.
Screw them, I'm going boneless. You know what I'm saying? So that is actually more boneless. Everything is boneless. It's built your own bowl. It's easier. Everything is on a grill as opposed to everything is a stew. You don't get no stews at stir fast. And the ticket time average is 5 to 6 minutes as opposed to this is about 10, 15 minutes. It's a lot quicker, a lot faster. Boom, boom. We want to get it out.
All the years that you were just grinding it out, getting it ready, like planning it, was there ever a time you thought of quitting?
Oh man, we quit every day. I quit yesterday. What you talking about, man?
And elaborate on that a little more.
Truly, man. I mean, being an entrepreneur in
Yeah.
general is just a lot of work to it. And there's a lot of things, you got to be mentally strong too. But there's a lot of things that's going to make you like, screw this.
Yeah,
man.
well, and see, it's crazy because it's like, like with my music, for example, people come up to me like, oh, hey, I want to invest 50,000 or 10,000 or,
Right.
or with flips, like, I'm sure you get that too a lot. Like,
Right.
oh, I got this money, I want to invest. But it's like, yeah, you're going to drop this money off, but then are you going to go with me at 8 p.m., when I had to leave the house to go do whatever
Right.
it is that I had to go do? Like, that's where it comes.
Are you gonna cry with me when you're doing a backsplash style?
I mean, 100. I mean, realistically, yesterday, I almost like, man, I'm going to walk out
Yeah.
there right now. Yesterday, my boys have 4 basketball games. I only made it to 1.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I'm going to walk out of here, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's that thing that it's your outside entity is always going to affect this business. It's always, it's how you handle it. It's how you
And I
handle
kind of want to touch on that because obviously, we're talking about all the good things, but
Yeah.
for anyone that's listening or watching, can we talk a little bit about the bad things? Obviously, the sacrifices that you had to make.
Sacrifices
I
and
mean,
time.
that's
Well, and that's what I said earlier. I'm like, oh, your overnight success. You know what I mean? Because
7 years in the making.
Yeah, 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, if you could elaborate on that,
Yeah, I mean, it was overnight.
like the
success,
mindset
true.
on that.
But also, a lot of people don't know that. Like yesterday, I was up from 8 a.m. and I ain't making home till 4 p.m.
Mhm.
I mean 4 a.m. I'm sorry.
I was like, that's not that.
Yeah, you know what, Charles? Yeah, that's normal shit, bro. That's normal shit. That's 8 to 5. No, till 4 a.m.
I skip my lunch
So
break, no
there's a
big
lot
deal.
of inner workings that people don't see.
Yeah.
They see the outside and then, oh, Charles got a nice thing going, man. I'm
Yeah,
proud
yeah.
of you. Cool. But yeah, I was
The
up there. I've
grind.
been up since 8 and then to make it home till 4 a.m.
That grind,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work too, man.
So
And-
anybody trying to get into anything,
yeah, man, you really
entrepreneurship
gotta be mentally strong, man. And you really gotta have a support staff. Truly.
Yeah.
Truly, I thank my wife every day, man, because she could have easily be like, this is whack.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in 2 days.
Yeah.
I know, and you the same thing
Yeah,
on both of y'all. She's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I don't need this. I don't need it. I ain't married to business. I married you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So having a good support staff, man.
That's a
and-
good way to put it. I've never heard that. I never married the business. I married you. Like
That's
'cause
true.
sometimes, like
That was low. That was a terrible one.
That sounded like dance, didn't it? That was Dan
because
doing that. If you're not watching,
Your
okay.
wife or your significant other is always going to support you no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, yes, bad or good, they're always going to support you. But it's not their business. It's not
Right.
for them. It's you. So it's a choice thing. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make that time. And time is, for entrepreneur, is the most valuable thing.
yes,
Yeah.
And that's what I'm struggling with too, trying to make that time. You know
And
what I'm saying?
it goes back, Charles, to what you touched on a little bit earlier, where sometimes it is better to, because we talked about it on the first episode where I'm the same way, like, oh, I can do it better than anybody,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you know,
And you're
I'm
not
gonna
even
do
worried about
5
home.
things. Yeah,
You're not even worried
but
about
when you
home.
start to that's something that I've been doing probably the past couple years. I'm still not the best at it, but
Right,
you know,
yeah.
trying to you take care of
Delegate
this
more.
now,
Yeah,
delegate
yeah,
more.
yeah.
My CPA, like everything, and even the wives too, like
Yeah.
they're definitely
Let her run to the store, go get some sugar for you
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's one thing I'm learning too. Your time is valuable. So
Mhm.
you gotta in business also, your time is gonna I'm trying to find a word. When it comes to money over time always wins.
And see, and even
Tom
as simple
always
as
wins.
lawn mowing, for example, I love lawn mowing because
shit, you can come. I got 5 acres for you, bro.
there's a limit. No, and it takes me like an hour, but
We ain't
I
got
throw
time
a
for that. You better call someone to go.
but
$40.
check this out.
Oh, here you go. Here's 50.
No, and check this out. The way that I kind of make my money off of that is I throw on a podcast. I'm educating myself, and I love it. Right, good exercise. But perfect. That's literally that was
Yeah,
my
man.
point. You know what? If that hour, what if I found a deal that's gonna make me
Man.
$60,000 that year by
Yeah.
flipping it, for example?
Exactly.
But then here I am doing a $50 task.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where it's powerful to
Right.
know your time is better than the money.
I've
Absolutely.
kind of gotten into the mentality too of thinking of tasks as what is the opportunity cost
Mhm.
to this task.
Yeah.
Even we talk about almost every episode. Me still having a 9 to 5 job. What I still
Oh, you're different. You are different.
no, but that's the thing.
No
is,
one does that no more.
I think I love my job. I love the people I work with and my career. But I also have sat down and thought, what is the opportunity cost of me being here 8 hours a day
Yeah.
as opposed to
How many
doing
business deals
And you'll know,
Exactly.
bro. And that's the thing. You'll know too.
You'll know.
You'll know.
Oh, I
when
know
is the
now
time.
what it is.
No, I'm saying you'll know when the time is, right?
Right.
I was talking to somebody earlier, like, I wish I would have done it sooner. And it's like, it's easier to say it now, but I
Right.
wasn't ready,
No, you weren't ready.
whatever many
Yeah.
years ago.
Absolutely.
Like I wasn't.
So let's talk about that for you. So when because you left a good job.
Man, that's a good job, man.
And
the
you use-
retirement was amazing.
I was about to say you
know,
but then
like-
you use your savings and everything, like you put it all in, man.
all on
Like
the table.
So, the good news is I was working 3-4 years at side jobs, and I managed to save about almost 10 to 15, almost $20,000 just on side. I didn't need the money because I had a full time, so I used to put that in savings and stuff like that. So I had that. I had a good down payment to start something if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So people like to see money. You just can't come and say you want to open something. Like, okay, well, let me see something now. Okay, well,
gotta have
here,
skin in the game.
I got 20,000. What's up now? Oh, okay, you serious about it now?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you just can't come in and just like, I want to open something, and not have something back into it. This is a business. Business is money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta have some kind of back into it. So I already had money saved. I had some savings, and a variety of different other things so it made sense. It made sense. I had a business plan. I was ready to go.
So
when that time came,
when you put your notice into your boss, did you tell him like I'm gonna open my business? Or
I've been talking about it.
Oh, so this wasn't a surprise.
Talking about it. I've been talking doing my my master's program. There's a program called Leading Edge at Dome, and they're talking about finding your best self, and that's what really made me to open a restaurant, because it really go through the process of finding yourself and knowing yourself, knowing what you're capable of, and things like that nature. And when I did my overall thesis, it's not really a thesis, but it's a thesis. I told them, I'm like, I'm going to open a bar.
And were there any moments where they kind of laughed it off? Like, oh yeah, like,
they see me. They're like, nah, I'm not gonna laugh at that.
Yeah.
Because I'm 6'4", 240. Yeah, I'm quiet. No, honestly, the staff and we built a good core of friends. They was 100% supportive. They still come and hang out. Charles, I can't believe you did this. I can't believe you're on your second location by now.
Yeah.
So they've been very supportive. Like I said, man, like you're gonna have those people that's supportive.
Yeah.
And want to see you do good.
Because I remember one time, man, I hope my ex-boss is listening now.
Oh, here we go.
This is like the record number of noises.
I love it, bro. Cheers to that.
Right.
But I remember, asking for Fridays off, for example, like, hey, I got to hit the road with my music. Got to go sell CDs. I got some shows, blah, blah, blah. And I remember this clearly. One time he said, oh, Billy, I wanted to be a rock star when I was your age too. You know what I mean? And it's like, look at me now. You know what I mean? It's like, and you have, like, obviously it's a business. And so that's the reason why I was asking, because I've also ran into a lot of people that have ran into that kind of, experience where it's like, and the more you hear that, the more you need to get, like, that should be motivation.
It should be. Absolutely.
But I mean, it can wear on you,
It can. Yeah. It's wear and tear, especially when you constantly hear it, it's all mental, man.
Yeah.
In entrepreneurs, I say is more mental than physical.
Yeah.
Honestly, because if you have that mental to be strong and overcome a lot of things from people talking to you and stuff like that, man.
And sometimes, you run into situations where a lot of times it's the closest people to you where they're looking out, they feel or they think that they're looking out for you, but really all they're doing is putting negativity in your head. They're gonna, you're telling them, hey, I want to open a restaurant. Well, do you know that, 2 and 3 fail in the first year, and blah blah. They tell you these things that are just like, you're not helping. I see what you're trying to do, but that doesn't help,
Right.
So I think when you say mentality, yes, you have to have the mental strength
like
to be able to see bullshit outside of that.
Man, 100. Absolutely. That's 100, man. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it, man, how all this came about, man. I'm thankful. There's a lot of hard work, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I want to grow, but I don't know what if I'm.
I was gonna say, like, what's next?
Yeah, what's next?
You know what? A friend of mine told me you need to have 5 different businesses as an entrepreneur.
Streams of
you need to
income.
have 5 streams as an entrepreneur, and I'm on number 3. The thing is, my 1, 2, and 3 are the kind of the hard working ones, as opposed to the kind of the let the money come to you type of
like
ones.
make the money work.
So I gotta find more of the easy ones than the hardcore ones.
The passive ones.
But honestly, man, I don't know yet. My lease ends here next year, actually. So I thought about expanding. I ain't gonna lie, I have thought about being done. You know what I'm saying? I've done it for 5 years. You know, I thought about growing to Omaha. I want to take one of these restaurants in Texas. I thought about just going back to 8 to 5. It's a lot of different
You
things.
sound like an entrepreneur right
Yeah,
now.
we're so scatterbrained, bro. It's not even funny.
How do you think if you were to go back to 8 to 5, how do you think you?
I'll be
adjust?
bored as
Yeah,
hell.
I was like,
I don't think I can.
Yeah.
I don't think I can. But it's steady income.
That's yeah.
You know, it's steady income. I mean, I didn't pay myself last week because
Yeah.
sales was bad.
But
You know what I'm
I do
saying?
not see you coming home and then Saturday sitting on your couch watching Netflix.
No,
I don't see you doing that.
I'm not a Netflix person.
Or whatever it is. Like,
You know, but you know, I'm sure so used to the moving and shaking now. I don't think I can sit still.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my hand in something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my hand in something. It might not be this, but you know, as you get older too, also you gotta all know your limitations. And,
Yeah.
You know, I can't be in the kitchen. You know, after 5-10 years, still trying to cook and still trying to cater everybody.
You don't have like any sort of like apprentices or anything that are kind of.
I had kitchen managers, and sometimes you know, I'm not the most likable person to work with. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know,
This is your baby.
It's
so
my
you probably-
baby.
Yeah.
There's a certain way I want it.
Yep.
You know, and there's a certain way I want it to look. So it's sad. I done went through 4 different managers in the past 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, there was all good guys. Not gonna take nothing away from those. They all did something to increase Stir 22 and Stir Fast. You know, but it just wasn't the way I wanted it. Stir 22 to be with them included, and that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And it may never be.
Yeah.
It may never be. I don't know, but I want to make that decision that it's never gonna be.
Yeah.
Not the next person.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And now looking back, bro, what would be some advice that you would give yourself? You know, you're a youngster starting over again. What is the advice that you would give yourself for our people listening right now that are, you know, inspiring to be an entrepreneur or real estate or whatever it is that they want to do with their goals, dreams?
The first thing I would say is find a partner of like mind. One thing, my wife is my partner. She helps me out with this, but she's not in the kitchen like me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If I had somebody I can bounce idea who relates to me in the kitchen, I think this would have been a lot easier. I would have been home more. We would have been rotating. Hey, bro, you go this your weekend. It's not my weekend. So find somebody or 2 or 3 people, you know, that can be like minds that y'all can get a business together and grow, because then y'all can, it's a rotation of your time. You know what I'm saying? Then you spending, because you can, that weekend is my time over there, or the next weekend I'm home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there's a rotation. So find a partner that y'all can relate to and open something or do something together. Just don't do it all yourself, because whatever it is, it's gonna immensely affect you, and it's gonna affect your family. It's gonna affect everything in general. You know what I'm saying? So just find someone that can help you get to that next level, or help you start, or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You know, another thing is value your time.
I said one thing, bro.
Oh.
I'm just no, you're speaking gems, bro. No, go ahead, bro. I was just playing. Go ahead, bro.
You're good. I would say just value your time, man, and value your time. Not to mention, you know, in business, you know, we try to lowball, so we want people to come, but know what you're worth, man. I got oxtails for $19. You know what I'm saying? You know, not everybody's gonna pay for it. Yeah. But you know how long it takes to make the damn oxtails?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna charge 19. I'm thinking about increasing it if you make me mad. I'm worth no extra dollar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But know what your business is worth and know what you're worth. You know what I'm saying? Don't undercut yourself. And one more last thing is, you know, in business, man, it's crazy. Man, listen. Yeah, I can't believe you're gonna make this live, man. I'm so gonna be in trouble, man, right now.
That was the last one.
That was cool. That was cool. But you know what, man? Like, in this business that I've learned, you know, I felt sometimes like I was like selling myself short, man. Like taking people in that I knew wasn't gonna be the perfect fit. But just to have them here so I can take a break, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Or I can do something, I can leave the restaurant and I knew eventually down the road it's not going to be good, but just like, you know, and I felt like, man, you know, don't do that. Don't do that. Know what your business is worth. Don't disrespect your business by bringing someone in for your time. At the end of the day, it is your business. And I went through a period where I was just like, man, y'all can run it. And it affected my business because of that.
Right.
Sales was going down. The food was different. A lot of things, man. But I wanted to be home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you choose this business. The business didn't choose you. You know what I'm saying? So just be accountable of that, man. That's it, bro.
And one question that I love to ask is if you were to write a book, what would be the title of it and what would the concept be?
That's a good one. If I write a write a book, what would be the title?
Well, I mean, you already wrote it 10 years ago
I know.
with your
My
business plan. I mean.
That's true. I know. It was a damn novel. Wow, that's a good one. I think
Or it doesn't have to be a title. It could be a theme too.
Yeah.
I mean,
man, that's crazy, man. I think the title would be Life. You know what I'm saying? Because truly life is life is left or right or up or down. You just don't know.
Oh.
And I think as you get older, you still won't know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the crazy part.
You
Because
still-
I don't know
yeah.
where in the
Yeah,
next 5
yeah.
years I'll be at.
Yeah.
I don't know where in the next 10 years I'll be at.
Yeah.
But if the title being Life, the thing would be, man, where is the end of the road? Eventually, where do you come a stop to where you can sit back finally
Mm-hmm.
and especially as an entrepreneur. I'm speaking
Yeah.
as an entrepreneur, where you can sit back finally, I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I can't do no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna reap the benefits of whatever I've done.
Yeah.
I'm done. That's what I would say, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna be done.
Yeah.
but you're enjoying the ride though.
Huh?
But you're enjoying the ride.
I'm enjoying. I mean, there's some roller coasters. It's going down. It's going up. It's going down. But I'm riding it, man. I'm riding it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
All right, that's cool.
Well, man,
That was-
I'm inspired.
That was
now.
awesome.
Ah.
Man. I mean, except,
Tons, man.
I've known him for a long time, and
Yeah, man.
I never knew the details. I
This
didn't
guy had a
realize that you-
Mustang when him
Yeah.
first. He would show off. I'm like, man, get out of here, man.
He's like,
that was a different me. That was post recently divorced.
We talked about
Wow.
we talked about that too.
Yeah, man, it's
Cars,
fun. I'm
man,
like, look at
cars,
you,
like
man.
they're the worst investments. We
Oh,
talked
my
about
God,
that.
that's horrible.
Worst value ever. The depreciation is
Yeah, you just pull out the lot. You're losing
sometimes,
money.
man, it's good to have a nice little show.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you work hard.
Exactly.
You know,
That's the point. Is that you gotta work.
Work hard to
I was
get
doing the
that.
opposite.
Have your money.
You
have
just
your money
stunned.
pay for it.
You were stunned. I'm like, I know where you work at. You ain't making that much money. You ain't making that much money.
That's so funny, and that's how it be too, bro. Like that's literally how it
It's that,
be.
that,
but
that poor man mentality.
yeah. But yeah, no, thanks for having us here, man.
Wait,
It's been awesome.
Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah.
and the restaurant?
Yeah, man. Stir22lounge.com, stirfast.com. Or just come and see us. We're 2110 Withrow Road. And then Stir Fast is at 1320 Old Street, right next to Jimmy John's.
Still no social
Yeah, I
media?
was gonna say social media.
I'm active on social media. At Stir22 Lounge or at Stir Fast.
Okay.
On
Yeah,
IG
Instagram,
and- okay.
Instagram, and Facebook.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Well, and make sure you guys follow him. Make sure you guys follow
Yeah,
us.
man.
Come right now. You gotta come eat here if you're
I
local.
know,
Come
for
check
real.
it out. It's this smell, right? They're not even
I
opening it.
know.
The smell is awesome.
Make sure you guys follow us. Minority Report Podcast. I got it.
Yeah.
And then on YouTube too. Make sure you guys subscribe and all the podcast platforms, baby. Let's get it. Vamonos.
All right, man.
Thanks,
Salute.
guys.
Please don't segregate. Dress in a suit, I can't relate. Minority Report, can't ignore being rich from poor and your credit score. I hand to please don't segregate. Dress in a suit, I can't relate. Minority Report, can't ignore being rich from poor and your credit score. I keep it real.